What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you come into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, I wanna talk about a video that I watched of Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas speaking on LeBron James and his greatness and stuff. Right now, this video is it's about 7 years old, but it just goes to show that like the people who have been supporting LeBron James has been moving the goalposts as far as like what greatness is and what a GOAT is. They have been moving the goalposts for years, and this is a prime example of the way that people have been moving the goalposts. And so, with that being said, I'm gonna play the audio to Isaiah Thomas. He was on the show. He was on Undisputed with who was on there? Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless. He was on, and they asked him about LeBron and LeBron's greatness. And it kind of gets into like how they started to move the goalposts and things like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna react to this video and give you my point of view and just show that when all of when this moving of the goalposts and when all and the shaping of the narrative, when all of this, it kind of started. So with that being said, I'm gonna start the audio and then I'm gonna react to it.
James in a broader category. I don't look at him in terms of what he is what he does on the basketball floor. What he does outside of the floor. I take the totality of what he's done as a champion. And when you're looking at a champion, the way I was brought up, he or she has a responsibility not only to perform inside the lines, but outside of the lines. They have a greater responsibility in terms of, uplifting the team. And also, if you have an opportunity to uplift society, then they take on that responsibility. That's what the Muhammad Ali's did. That's what the Jim Browns did. That's what the Kareem Abdul-Jabbars did. So that champion, the way I was brought up, when you're the best player on the team and you're the leader of the team or the best player in the league, you have a greater responsibility to move the game, to move society forward. And that's why that's why I look at LeBron James in that way.
All right, all right. So in my opinion, like that depends on like in my opinion, that depends on the individual, right? Not only do it depend on the individual, but it depends on like if they're qualified to speak on matters, political matters or social matters. Like everybody have a role to play as far as like like in society, like as far as like standing up against injustices, right? Whether they be like racial or they be against people like for their sexual preference, or people against like no matter what people what you want to stand up for, you still need to be you still need to be like knowledgeable, intelligent about where you like what you're speaking on, right? And so just because you are like the best basketball player on a team, that don't mean that you qualified to speak on those things. So, but and also it don't mean that you can't contribute in other ways, right? So and I think like a lot of people went to the fact that like Michael Jordan really didn't stand up for social causes the way they wanted him to, but as it turns out, Michael Jordan behind the scenes contributed to a lot of different social causes in the way that he felt comfortable, and so now LeBron may be more comfortable with speaking up, publicly about some things, but that don't mean that both players like Mike and LeBron didn't make their contributions. And so that just remind me of like a joke about like Dave Chappelle had a joke about like reporters running to Ja Rule when something happened in, like something happened in the community. And they was like, well, where's Ja? What do Ja think about this? Right. Like and people who want answers, man, people really don't, they not really concerned with what Ja Rule think. They want somebody just because you're a rapper or you're an entertainer, that don't mean you qualified to speak on these issues. I also don't subscribe to the notion like the one lady said, well, just dribble and shut up. That wasn't cool either, right? But I'm just saying, just because you're a basketball player or you're the best player on the team, that don't mean that you qualified to speak on these issues. So I just wanted to jump in right there. But I'm gonna get back to some more of Isaiah's audio, and I'm gonna break down like what he said and how they started to move the goalposts where LeBron James is concerned. It's gonna become it's very obvious.
That
Yes.
I will give that to you for sure.
So that's my criteria.
The comparisons, it just will not go away. LeBron versus Michael.
Yeah.
How close is LeBron? Some similarities and some differences.
I look at LeBron and what he's done is mind blowing with what he's had to work with. And what I mean by what he's had to work with, LeBron James came straight from high school. Do you know who his high school coach is?
Drew Joyce.
But I'm just asking. Do you know?
No.
Do you know?
I know St. Vincent, St. Mary, but I don't know the coach.
So this is the
I
point
think
I'm
I've
trying
read
to make.
Quotes from
Right?
Yeah.
He didn't go to college.
Yeah.
He's taken every rookie coach he's had to the NBA Finals. So from an educational standpoint and a knowledge base, where did this brain come from? I mean, he's the Einstein of basketball. Because when you look at myself, you look at a Jordan, you look at a Shaq, we had Hall of Fame coaches. Like Michael Jordan played for Dean Smith, Hall of Fame. Then he goes and meets Phil Jackson, Hall of Fame. Doug Collins, those were his first coaches. He was around Tex Winters. I was around Chuck Daly, Coach Knight. So from an educational standpoint, the knowledge that we were given and what we were able to apply out on the field and out on the floor, that came from somewhere.
All right, so let me jump in right here before Isaiah finishes his statement, right? All right, so he mentioned how all those great ball players like Isaiah played for Bobby Knight, Michael Jordan played for Dean Smith, and they're like, so when you have the opportunity or you have the advantage of playing for great coaches and you get to apply that means that like certain mistakes that gives you an advantage. Certain mistakes that LeBron made throughout his career, Michael Jordan didn't make, Isaiah Thomas didn't make, Magic Johnson. Even in modern day, you have Steph Curry. Some of the mistakes that LeBron James has made throughout his career, Steph Curry didn't make these mistakes. And so LeBron James is commendable, the fact that he was able to overcome the fact that he didn't have that, those great coaches. Like he never played for Mike Krzyzewski. He never played for John Thompson. And so, but what all of those coaches instill in all of those great ball players, they instill like a sense of like it, like a team, like and they had like a foundation, and they knew that they let all of those great ball players, Steph Curry, like I said, Magic Johnson, all of those great ball players knew that you need to have a foundation a solid foundation in order to be successful, right? And so that's why, Larry Bird, that's why all of those, all great ball players, they stayed grounded on one team, because you cannot pick up and start over somewhere else and move your whole foundation. And basically that's what you would have to do. Move your whole foundation over to another location and rebuild. No business, no successful home. It don't work like that. So is LeBron James great because he was able to go and win in different places? Yeah, you know what I mean? Hell yeah, he's a great ball player. But I think it shows even more greatness if you are able to have that stability and build a foundation at one location and then, build it from there. And so the fact that I think that LeBron, he didn't come from like a stable background. It's noted, publicly that LeBron, him and his mother, they was like, they had it tough. At one time, they basically was sofa surfing. You know what I mean? Just staying on different people's couch and stuff like that. But also that worked against him because, like I said, he didn't have that stability to refer back to like Isiah did, like Magic did, like Steph Curry. Steph Curry come from a 2-parent household and they were very stable. So they knew about like the importance of having a stable, strong foundation. And so LeBron had opportunities to align himself. I think, he had at least one opportunity that I know of, and that's with when he was at Miami. Had LeBron just left Miami and had left Cleveland and stayed in Miami with Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, then I think things would have went a lot. His legacy would probably be a lot more cemented. Wouldn't be too much more argument about who's the greatest, LeBron or Mike. You know what I mean? It'll be a stronger argument. But because of his background and his upbringing and the fact that he didn't have that leadership, that kind of hindered him. And it's becoming more and more obvious when you see the decisions. You can look back on the decisions that LeBron has made throughout his career and some of the decisions that he's making now. Like Mike never made certain decisions, but some of the things that LeBron's doing, Magic never did it. Bird, all those guys, because they were, they had a stronger foundation. And so that was LeBron, the things that made him great. Also the things that holding LeBron James back. But let me get back to some more of this, this comments that are being made by Isiah Thomas.
I look at LeBron James and I go, where'd he get all this? Because he can look at your coach, figure out your defensive scheme. He can look at your substitution pattern. He can read the stat sheet, and then he can, not only read it, but he can dissect it. Then he can come back and put together a game plan, and then he can go out and implement it. So the Tom Brady's and the Peyton Manning, so forth and so on, they all had coaches, schools, and big institutions that they went to. LeBron James just came in from high school and said, boom, 7 straight finals. You do not go to the NBA finals in all league at age 22 and say, I'm here with, Boobie Gibson and, Danielle Marshall and the coach. No offense to any of them, but you just don't do that in all league.
Well, and again, that's commendable. The fact that LeBron James didn't have, he didn't have the talent around him, and he was such a great ball player that he was able to uplift and take those guys and the teams that he was winning. They went to 7 straight finals. That's at the time, it's 7 straight finals, right? And so, but it's still like it just goes to the point that you need great coaches around you. You need great general managers around you, and that's what all of the other greats in this league. Even Isiah, he had Chuck Daly. Chuck Daly was a very good, basketball coach. He had who else he had? He had Bobby Knight. And so LeBron James, in my opinion, his downfall is the fact that LeBron, he thought that he wanted to do it all by himself. Not even Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, once he realized that he couldn't do it all by himself, that's when Mike started to dominate. So if LeBron had to realize that he couldn't do it all by himself, he needed a great general manager, he needed a great coach. But why would you want to have to break, do all the things that LeBron James is doing and ask people, and is asked of him, when you can have other people do that for, even in business? You want to hire people, like as a business owner, you want to hire people to do certain jobs so you can focus on doing what it is that you're good at or great at. And that's how you grow. That's how you dominate. That's how you have a dynasty, when you have different people doing different jobs within the organization. But if you have one man trying to do everything, then it stunts the growth of the organization. And then you have some of the poor decision making. that goes on. So that was, to me, that that's part of his downfall. But I'm gonna get back to some more of this of what Isiah Thomas is saying.
And squeegees and a nail file. That's what he took to the final.
But
by the way, they got swept by the Spurs. But go ahead.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but again, that and all of us have been around sports a lot, right? And you just don't walk in from high school with no institutional knowledge and dominate a sport for the years that he's dominated. So when you talk about LeBron James, Michael Jordan, I look at from the neck up, not necessarily from the neck down. And I'm not going to judge. Again, my criteria is a little different because from a concentration standpoint and a game planning standpoint, LeBron James is head and shoulders above any of these guys.
So are you saying LeBron is better than Michael Jordan?
I would pick LeBron James.
You would?
Yeah, if I'm trying to
Build a team.
if I'm trying to build a team, now that ain't sour grapes. Hold on, come on over here and talk about it because I won. Okay,
he did.
You can't be dismissive of what I did. Okay, so let's keep it real.
Let me just stop right there, right? Like, I kind of agree. Like somebody said, like Isiah might be having sour grapes. Maybe he don't have sour grapes, right? But I keep saying, the things that make LeBron great are the things that's hindering his legacy. You do need, and so Isiah said something about like institutional, having an institutional like that advantage of going to these great institutions and picking up that knowledge, right? And you do. It's just like coming from a 2-parent household. It just, in the long run, it means something. It really do mean something. It's like a trying to become a man, and you was raised by a single mother, right? It means something to have that positive male influence in your house when you're trying to get to a place where a place that as a man your mother has never been. So all of that, all that comes into play. You're going to make mistakes as a man coming from a single mother household that maybe you wouldn't make if you had a strong male figure in there. So, and that's what LeBron James is an example of somebody who didn't have that institutional background, that institutional knowledge to fall back on. If LeBron had that with like how physically dominant LeBron is and how intelligent he is, that's the one flaw I think LeBron has, is that he thought, or he tried to do everything himself. And when you do that, you fall short in some areas and you make crucial mistakes. But let me get back to a little bit more of what Isiah has to say about this, and stop comment.
Oh, now, so if you're trying to win a series, I'm going with the brain. Okay, if I got to get 40 points or 50 points, then yeah, I'm taking a Michael Jordan or a Kobe. But the greatest player to ever play this game is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and we are dismissive of Kareem because every single stat.
All right, so if Isiah would pick, if he would choose LeBron over Mike, you know what I mean? Like if Mike, it just don't add up. Mike was 6-0 when it came to winning championships. Mike was 6-0. So I don't understand how he could sit there and say that he would choose LeBron, or if he's starting a team, he want LeBron. Mike was 6-0 in championship games and 11-0 in international play. So where now you LeBron James, when it came to championships, he's 4 out of 10. Kobe Bryant, I think, is like 5 out of 7. Steph Curry, I think Steph Curry got 4 rings. I think he's 4 out of 6, something like that. All of these great ball players have like they have more of a winning record than they do a losing record. Nobody, as a matter of fact, LeBron James is the only one that's in the GOAT conversation with a losing record. So, I think it can't be anything else, in my opinion, from Isiah Thomas, but sour grapes when you can't face reality. Why aren't you just looking at you looking at the results? Why aren't you just looking at the results and see what all of these other great Tim Duncan, what's Tim Duncan got? Like 5 championship rings. He won more championships than he lost. Magic Johnson won more championships than he lost. And that's always been the goal. The goal has been to win that to get that jewelry. And so this just goes to show, like, even back then, like I said, this video is 7 years old, and they just moved the goalposts. When it came to LeBron James, they moved the goalposts, and they kind of like lowered the standards, and it's just obvious. And like I always say that the longer LeBron James played, the more he hurt his legacy, because he can't catch Kobe. He can't catch, you know what I mean? In my opinion, Magic, and he might be tied with Bird as like one of the greatest, but Magic, in my opinion, is ahead of him. Bird is ahead of, Magic is ahead of LeBron. I think Bird, in my opinion, I would have to take Bird's career over LeBron's career. So I would put Bird ahead of him, Magic ahead of him, Kobe, Tim Duncan, Mike. LeBron fall way down on the list when I think of like careers, like of people career that I would like to emulate. I don't agree with none of what Isiah Thomas said. I think everything that Isiah Thomas said just made it more obvious that LeBron is he falls short, and so because he didn't have the things that he he accomplished a lot for what he had, where he came from, but still the goal is still the goal. That's like lowering the the standard because you come from a single parent household or you have mitigating circumstances. You still have to go by like what's required. You know what I mean? Like if I don't graduate from high school and I decide I want to go to law school, I still have to meet those standards. I still need to make sure that I go to school and be able to pass that bar. You can't say, well, he come from a single parent home, so we should cut him a break. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. And so Isiah, he should be wise enough to understand that it don't work like that. That's my take. I'm going to get out of here. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think about, what I said about LeBron, like how, like they just lowered, they lowered the bar for LeBron. And, I think they, he still fell short. But with that being said, leave a comment, let me know what you think about it, and I'll check you all out on the next video. Peace.